is that the expectations were so high, and I was just telling our team the other day, you had high expectations, and we lived up to it. You're sitting here, and you're 11-1. People always, you always got to go back and just reevaluate the whole season. And anytime you're trying to build a program, and you just have to create consistency within the program. And that's what we tried to do. And we knew that there was going to be some highs and lows this season, but our players were able to bounce back. I think about the one loss that we had, and we didn't let that game go beat us twice. Very easily could have let that game beat us twice, and we didn't. And so they have a lot to be proud of. I look at that senior class, I look at the number of guys that have graduated from that class. I look at a class that over 4 years is 36 and 15. So, I can't be more proud of a group of guys than I am with that senior class and the players that we have.
Charlie, you have a good pipeline going from South Florida when it comes to getting kids. You have a lot of Florida kids on your team. What is it about that area that draws you to attract to recruit those kind of kids?
Well, when you look at it, you could look at it from city to city. Miami's a city, Louisville's a city. And I think that once the players visit there, they realize that. And with us being able to get the players that we have from South Florida, now you're able to create a pipeline, because when guys come and they have success, that's what players look for. When they can have success and they can look at one player, you take like a Teddy, you take a Michael Lee, you take an Eli, guys that come into our program, we're going to walk away with a degree and they've had success. So, and there's a number of players there's a lot of players in South Florida that can be recruited, and that's why we recruit there. And we have a lot of coaches on our staff that are very familiar with the coaches in that area, because a lot of either, they worked in one of the different schools or they played in one of the different schools there in Florida. So it's so easy for us to have that relationship with the high school coaches.
Charlie, you talked last year, you and your staff both, you all talked about the focus going in the days leading up. Coach Golden was talking about how in the final 48 hours you have to keep them focused and you can lose a game. What's the focus been like this week, and what do you do today to kind of keep them reined in?
Well, it's game week, and it doesn't change for us whether it's a bowl game or it's a regular season game. Our routine stays the same. We don't change our routine at all. So I always tell them that, guys, now that it's in the game week, your focus totally changes from when we started preparation on Sunday. It was just a total mindset, a different mindset, because even though we came down on Sunday, we knew that it was just game preparation for us. So today is a Friday, so we go out and we do a lot of walkthroughs and just make sure that the mental approach is there for us. And then we get up tomorrow, we do some walkthroughs also, and then go play that game. But I think that they're kind of sitting on the edge of their seat also. They've been waiting for 2 weeks now, so it's exciting.
You mentioned the 36 wins. I think Teddy's been the quarterback for 27 of them. For your coaching success, what did it mean to have a quarterback, or what does it mean that's as good as Teddy is? And I think with one more win, he becomes the most winningest quarterback in the history of Louisville.
Well, when you look at it and you think about Teddy and just what he's done for this program, I can remember that first game that we put him in, and that ball kind of just fluttered out of his hand. He threw an interception, and I said, "Oh my God, is my man any good at all?" And then you look at us, we go to Kentucky, and Stein goes down, and then he comes in and takes over, and has never given up the position since. But a quarterback is so critical because he leads your offense, and you have to have someone who can manage. He can manage a game, not only make the throws, but he has just a leadership ability where he can get everyone else around him to play up to their level or even better. And that's what he's been able to do. And he's been fun to watch, and he is really an outstanding player. But he has a lot of players around him. And I always say this: Teddy doesn't be who is, the offensive line isn't playing. Devontae Parker, Cole, Eli, they're not making the catches. If Dominique Sonoris isn't running hard also. But he understands it, and he's a total team player. But he understands that it takes a total team for him to be who he is also.
Coach, last week there was a lot of chatter about having to stay in coverage longer for the defensive backs with the deep ball threat that Miami presents. How do you generate pressure without having those extra blitzers like you might normally have against some of the other teams you played?
So you want my game plan? No, our defensive backs are very comfortable who they are. They know who they are. They can feel like they can match up. And we it's just going to depend on the flow of the game. Everything's about the flow of the game and how you're making the calls and just how the guys are adjusting. And you have to be able to adjust on the run.
Charlie, you won a couple of bowl games in a row. Is there a special mindset for a bowl game? Is it different at all from a regular season game? You have all this preparation time. How do you want them in coming into this versus maybe just a regular game?
Well, I think that you always look at the opponent, and what's been great about this opponent is that a lot of our players coming from South Florida has grown up watching this team play. A lot of, deep down, you talk to some of our players, they are Hurricane fans, even from the start. So now that they have a matchup and they get a chance to go play against the University of Miami, it's not much you have to say because they understand and they respect. When you respect the opponent, they have a tremendous amount of respect for the University of Miami. So I don't have to say much because they understand. They've been around it because they've seen it. You look at the number of players we have from Florida, those guys all grew up watching them. So when the game preparation came, even when they were announcing the bowl matchups, and then when they said Louisville versus University of Miami, they were all excited about it.
Coach, over the past few years with Manziel and Winston now and Teddy, we've seen a lot of young QBs taking over for universities, where in the past you'd have to pay your dues and you'd be a junior or senior. Is college football changing there, or these just astonishing young men who have great talent?
Well, these are different players with different abilities and tremendous talent. And so, anytime you look at your program, you want to go with the best player. And it's all about putting the best player on the field. A lot of players, they probably have some 3 or 4 year players in their program, but, some of those guys, it's a unique ability that they have. So when you get a player with that type of ability, then it's hard to watch him sit over on the bench. And that happens. But it happens at a lot of different positions also. But the quarterback position is very unique.